Where are they? Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining. Hello, good evening. Thanks for joining. You're welcome to my live. Say hi, let me know who you are and where you're watching from. You're welcome to my live. Say hi to me, let me know who is here with me. You're welcome to my live. Say hi to me, please. Let me know who you are. Just drop hi and tell me where you're watching from. You are welcome to my live. Thanks for joining. Hello, I have two people here. Thanks for joining me. You are welcome to Sunshine Yummy Treats. Thanks for joining. Let's wait for more people to join so that we can start. Okay? Say hi to me. Let me know who is here with me. Hello, I have 4 people here already. Thanks for joining. Please say hi to me. Let me know who is here with me. Thank you. This is Sunshine Yummy Treats, the face behind Sunshine Yummy Treats. You are welcome. You are welcome to my life. Let's have more people here before we start the topic for tonight, for this live, okay? Please, when you join, please give this live a thumbs up. Please double tap on the screen or click on the like button, okay? Thanks for joining. Let's have more people here. Thank you for joining. Let's have up to 10 people here so we can start. We have 9 here already. Let's just be up to 10, then we can start. Please double tap on the screen, okay? Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Okay. If you see my face for the first time, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this live. My name is Lovelyn and this is Sunshine Yummy Treats. You're welcome to my live. This is the face behind Sunshine Yummy Treats. Thanks for joining. Okay? Please, if you're hearing me, tell me, please drop it in the comment section, please. Just drop it so that you can hear me. Let me know. Because I'm not seeing any comments here. If you know you can hear me, please say you can hear me. Let me know. Okay? Can you hear me? Please let me know so we can start. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, can we start? Okay, so today's topic is the essential tips and tricks for a successful baking. If you can hear me, please just drop I can hear you and I can see you so I will know. Okay? The essential tips and tricks for a successful baking. Can you hear me? Okay. The first I'll be talking about is read through the recipe thoroughly. I can't see any comments here. I don't know. I can't see any comments here. Can you hear me, please? Please give this live a thumbs up, okay? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. I don't know. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, the first on my list is read through the recipe thoroughly. Now, what do we mean? Before starting any baking, you have to go through the recipe very well. You have to read through the entire recipe to understand the steps and procedures in making that particular baked goods or baked food, and also to gather all the necessary ingredients required. So I said the first tips and tricks you have to know is to read through the recipe thoroughly. Can you hear me? Please hold on, I'll be back. Sorry for that. So we are talking about the tips and tricks of a successful baking. And I said the first one is you have to read through the recipe of that particular baked goods you're about to make or you want to make. And also, it's also necessary in order to get the necessary ingredients required. Okay, and number two on my list is measure your ingredients accurately. My kids are disturbing, please. So I said the first one is read through the recipe before starting your baking. Then number two, I said measure your ingredients accurately. How do you do that? You measure your ingredients by using the kitchen scale. As a baker, you need to have a kitchen scale. Then you also need to have your measuring cups and spoons for you to achieve the best end result of your baked food. Okay, please give this live a thumbs up, and please let me know where you're watching from. Okay, thanks for being here with me. So number 3 is preheating your oven. Number 3 tips is preheating your oven. You need to preheat your oven in order to get, in order for you to, your baked products, so for you to have a good and end result of your baked products. Preheating your oven to the required temperature before baking is very necessary. You preheat for like 10 to 15 minutes before putting your baked products in the oven. Okay, it's very essential. So number 4 is do not over mix your batter or your dough. You just need to mix to combine. Let the ingredients combine. You don't need to over knead. You don't need to over mix. Just mix to combine. That is it. And so the next one I'll be talking about is know your oven. You know, every oven is of different types and different makes. Result, you have to make use of an oven thermometer in order to get, you have to make use of an oven thermometer, because most ovens are of different makes and different types. Some ovens can be extremely hot and some may be just moderate. So you have to make use of an oven thermometer. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining my live. This is Loveling of Sunshine Yummy Treats, and I'm so glad to have you here. So in this live, we are talking about tips and tricks of a successful baking. Tips and tricks of a successful baking. And I've talked about, the first one I talked about is reading through the recipe. Reading through the recipe. You have to read through the recipe, understand the recipe of what you are baking, and also for you to get the necessary ingredients that you need. And the number 2 I spoke about is measuring your ingredients accurately by using kitchen scale and measuring cups and spoons, so you can have a good and best end result of your product. Then the number 3 I talked about is preheating your oven. It's very necessary. It's very important to preheat your oven for like 10 to 15 minutes. You preheat your oven for like 10 to 15 minutes before putting in your whatever you are baking. Okay, and the next one I talked about is do not over mix. Do not over mix your batter. Do not over knead your dough. We have 10 people in the house here, please, and I'm just seeing one live. Please, one like. Please double tap on the screen. Let me know you are enjoying this live with me. Okay, so the next one I also talked about is knowing your oven type, because the ovens we are having is of different makes and products. So you have to have what is called oven thermometer. Oven thermometer for your baking is very important for you to keep accurate time for your baking, for your baked products, because some ovens can be extremely hot whilst the others are not. So you have to make use of oven thermometer. Okay, so the next one is using parchment paper. In order to prevent sticking, Okay, network is disturbing me here. So I said you have to make use of parchment paper. So I said for you, in order to prevent sticking of your baked goods, of whatever you're baking, to your tray or your pan, you have to line your pan or tray with a baking sheet or parchment paper. And this parchment paper or baking sheets also helps an easy cleanup in an easy cleaning of your pan or baking tray after use. So it's very, very important. Apart from preventing your food or your baked product from burning, from sticking, it also helps for easy cleanup. Please, my people, double tap on the screen to give me a like, okay? Thank you very much. And so the next one on my list here is chilling your dough when necessary. Chilling your dough when necessary. You can agree with me that there are some certain recipes that require you to chill your dough, before for some minutes before you continue. Hi, Hamisu, am I right? Thanks for joining. Say, where are you now? Okay. I'm streaming from Nigeria. Thank you for joining. So I'm talking about tips and tricks of a successful baking. And now I'm talking about chilling your dough when necessary. So because some recipes require you to chill your dough before continuing, so you have to do that in order to, because it helps to improve the texture of your end products. It helps to chill, it helps to improve the texture of your end products. Like baked goods like meat pie, like your pies, like cookies, they require you to chill the dough for some minutes in the fridge before you continue. Okay? And the next one is testing for doneness. Testing for doneness. Testing for doneness. It's always advisable to check if your baked goods is cooked or not when in the oven. And for you to do that, you have to use a toothpick or a small knife to do that. And you can do that by just sticking this toothpick or spoon or knife in the center of your baked goods. Let's say cake, for example. You insert it in the middle of your cake, and when it comes out dry, then you know it's ready. Okay, so that is one of the tips. So the next one on my list is cooling properly. After baking your products, you have to let them cool completely. You have to let them cool completely. You don't have to bring out from the oven and start storing. You have to let them cool completely before storage. Okay, please double tap on the screen, give me a like, please. Thanks for joining. Okay, then the next one, after cooling, you have to store them properly. How do you do that? How do you store your baked goods? How do you store your baked goods? You can store them in an airtight container. You can store your baked goods in an airtight container to maintain the freshness. To maintain the freshness, you store your baked goods in an airtight container. While some, you can keep them in the fridge for a later consumption or later use. Okay? And the next one is using quality ingredients. Using quality ingredients. For you to achieve the best results, you have to use good quality of your ingredients. You have to use good quality of your ingredients. Ingredients like your flavors, like your spices, your butter. You have to make good results. You have to use good and high quality ingredients. Then the next one is experimenting with flavors. What do I mean by that? You don't have to be afraid to add spices, because there are some spices, healthy spices you can add to your recipes, which will add a twist and uniqueness to your product. You can add some recipes and flavors to your batter or your dough. Okay? And the next one is patience. As a baker, or you that is baking, you need patience. Baking requires time and patience. Yes. You have to allow the ingredients to come together, to combine, for you to achieve a good and the best result of your end product. You don't have to rush. You don't have to rush when doing your baking. You need time. You need patience. After mixing your products, you need to allow them to come together. Hello, Helit. Thanks for joining. Thanks for having you here. You're welcome to my life. This is Sunshine Yummy Treats, and I'm talking about tips and tricks of a successful baking. Thanks for joining me. Please double tap on the screen or click on the like button, okay, to give me a like. So I'm talking about tips and tricks of a successful baking. Please, if you have any question, you can drop here. And we can also interact here, okay? Tips and tricks of a successful baking. So the first one I talked about is going through your recipes. Going through or reading through your recipe to understand. Before baking anything, you have to understand that recipe. You have to understand that recipe for you to get the necessary steps, all the required steps and procedures, and the required ingredients for that whatever you want to bake. That is the first one I talked about. And the next one I also talked about is measuring your ingredients accurately by using the kitchen scale, and measuring cups and spoons. By using measuring cups and spoons for you to get a good end result, so that your sugar will not be too much, or you not end up putting too much baking powder or adding too much salt or too much butter. So you have to get the accurate measurement of all your ingredients. And the next one I also talked about is preheating your oven. Before putting anything into your oven, like your cake, your pies, meat pie and the rest, you have to preheat your oven. Make sure that your oven is preheated before putting anything into it. Okay? So the next one I also talked about is do not overmix or over knead your batter or your dough. It is very, very important. All you have to do is just to mix. Let them combine. Do not overknead. Because if you overknead, they might develop gluten in the flour-based recipe. Okay? Please double tap on the screen, okay? Show me some love and support by double tapping on the screen. I also talked about knowing your oven type. Knowing your oven type. Because we have different types of oven brand. Some ovens can be extremely very hot, while some might not. So you have to make use of what is called oven thermometer, and also using parchment paper or baking tray, baking sheets, in order to prevent your baked products from your baked food or snack or whatever from sticking to your baking tray or pan. And that also helps for easy cleaning after your baking. When you use baking sheets on your pan, it helps for easy cleaning apart from burning or sticking to your pan or tray. I also talked about chilling your dough. Some recipes require you to chill your dough before you continue. Recipes like cookies. If you're making cookies, for example now, you need to chill it for some time, for some minutes. Then also meat pie. That is if you're not doing it for commercial purpose. You have to chill it for some time, for some minutes, so that you can have a good end result, and the outcome of it, the texture you'll be having will be so good. You will love it. Okay? Then the next one I also talked about is testing for doneness. Testing for doneness. How do you know when whatever you're baking is cooked? For example, now the cake you're making, how do you know if it's ready? How do you know when it's ready? How do you know when your cake is ready? You can do that by using toothpick or a small knife. You do that by inserting it in the middle of the pan, in the middle of what you're baking. And when it comes out dry, when that toothpick or knife comes out dry, then you know the cake is ready. Then you know the cake is ready. Then after baking, you have to cool whatever you baked properly. Do not just start stirring when it's still hot, because you end up spoiling your work and spoiling whatever you did. So you have to allow it to cool completely before stirring. Then after cooling completely, you have to store them properly in an airtight container. Store your baked products in an airtight container. Then there are some that you can put in the freezer for a later consumption or later use. Please double tap on the live, please, and let me know where you're streaming from, okay? Thanks for joining my live. And this is Sunshine Yummy Treats, the face behind Sunshine Yummy Treats. And please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so, okay? Support me by subscribing to my channel. Check out my videos and give me a thumbs up, okay? Then I also talked about using quality whatever you are doing, even in your cooking, apart from baking, you have to make use of good quality ingredients, like your spice, the spices you use, like your flavors, the flavors you use, you have to make use of good ones, because there are lots of them that when you add, when you use them, you will not even get a taste or even a scent or aroma of that flavor. You won't get it. So you have to look for the best and quality one to use. Then I also talked about being patient. Baking requires lots of patience and time. Baking requires time and patience. You don't just start adding and adding and adding, then you all of a sudden you now start baking or frying or doing whatever you're doing. There is time, everything has its time. You bake, after mixing, you have to wait, give it time to for the ingredients to combine. Give whatever you're doing time to combine, what your baking time to combine. Okay, so by incorporating these tips into your baking routines, by incorporating these tips into your baking routines, you can achieve the best results that you require. You can improve the results. These tips can help you improve the results, and you also enjoy the baking process even more. Okay, so if you enjoyed the tips or what I have said, please let me know in the comments. Okay, if you have any question for me, you can let me know. Let's interact. Okay, let's interact, guys. I have 6 people here watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Say hi to me. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any question for me, please drop it down so we can interact. If you're still here with me, say hi. Let me know I'm not alone here. This is Sunshine Yummy Treats. Thanks for joining me live. Thanks for joining me in my life. If you're here with me, say hi so we can interact. So if you're here with me, can someone tell me the topic of what we discussed today? Can someone tell me the topic we discussed here today? Then if you're just joining, drop it there and let me know you're just joining. Let me know in the comment section, okay? Let me know in the comment section. Ogechi, are you still here? If you're still here with me, say hi, please. Let me know. If you're here with me, can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? Can someone tell me one of the tips I talked about here? If you're just joining, say hi. And if you've been here when I started, can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? If you're just joining, say hi. I'm glad to have you here with me. Hi, Louisa. Thanks for coming to my life. Wow, you're just coming. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. You're welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad to have you here, Louisa. So I'm talking about tips and tricks for a successful baking. Tips and tricks for a successful baking. And I said the first one is reading through. Wow, I'm glad to have you here. So the first one I talked about is reading through the recipe. Reading through the recipe of what you are about to make. It is very, very important. It is very, very important for you to read through, for you to understand the steps required, for you to understand the procedures, and also for you to get the necessary ingredients required for whatever you want to make. It is very, very important. And I also talked about measuring your ingredients accurately by using a kitchen scale or a measuring cup and spoon. Please hold on, let me show you. So this is an example of one of the kitchen scale. This is one of the scale I use. This is a kitchen scale. There are different types. There are different types of kitchen scale. Then we also have the cups. We also have cups. I used this one this evening. That's why it's stained with flour. They are of different sizes. And we also have the spoons, measuring spoons. They are of different sizes also. So for you to get the accurate measurement of your ingredients, you have to make use of these tools, of these baking tools, so that you can have a good end result. Then I also talked about preheating your oven. Preheating your oven. Before you add whatever, let's say you're making cake, for example, you have to preheat your oven before putting in your cake. You have to preheat your oven before going in with your cake for like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the oven type you are using. I'll get to that. Then also, do not over knead your batter or your dough. Do not over knead your batter or your dough. You don't have to over knead your batter or dough. Just mix for them to combine, for all the ingredients to combine. Just mix for the ingredients to combine and it's okay. Then also knowing your oven type. So because the ovens we are having, there are different makes of ovens. So you have to make use of oven thermometer because some ovens can be extremely very hot. Some can be just moderate, and while some will not be even hot at all. So you have to make use of oven thermometer. Then also using parchment paper or, yes, thank you Louisa for following. Yes, thank you very much. You have to make use of baking sheets or parchment paper. This is very, very necessary. It helps to prevent your baked goods or baked food or products from sticking to the pan. Let me show you what my baking sheet is far from me now. Could have shown you what a baking sheet looks like. It helps to prevent your baked food from sticking to your pan or your tray, and also prevents it from burning. And apart from that, it also helps for easy clean up. After baking, it helps because you used baking sheets. It helps for easy cleanup after baking. It helps for easy cleanup after baking. Then the next one I also talked about is chilling your dough. There are some certain recipes that requires you to chill the dough for some minutes because it helps to improve the texture of the end product. Okay, like meat pie recipes, then cookies, you have to chill them for some time, for some minutes, for you to get a good result at the end. Then testing for doneness. How do you know when your cake is ready? How do you know when your cake is ready? You can do that by using a knife, or you can also use spoon. You can use toothpick. You insert them in the middle of your cake. Then when it comes out dry, then you know it's ready. Then you know your cake is perfectly cooked. Okay? Then the next one I also talked about is cooling completely. Another tips is cooling completely. Always ensure to allow the baked goods to cool completely before storing. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. In order not for you to spoil your work, to spoil what you just made, allow it to cool completely. I'm using cake for example. When it's ready, you bring out from the oven and leave it in the pan for some minutes so it can cool off. Properly. If you're here with me, say hi, let me know where who is here with me and where you're watching from, okay? And please double tap on the screen to give me a like. Thank you. And the next one I also talked about is storing properly. How do you store your baked goods? You can store your baked goods by keeping them in an airtight containers. Louisa, thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for spending time with me here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you store them in an airtight container. Thank you very much for being here with me. So you store them properly in an airtight container. Then you can also keep in the freezer for a later use or later consumption. Okay? Then I also talked about using quality ingredients. Using quality ingredients. Ingredients like your flavors. The flavors we use for our baking. We need to make good and good quality. We have to use good quality ingredients so that we can have a good result of whatever we are doing or whatever we are making. Okay, like our spices, the spices we use, we have to sort for good ones, for quality ones. Then I also talked about experimenting. You experimenting with the flavors. You have to experiment, use other. Hi, Famous. Thank you for being here. Famous Unknown. Famous Unknown, thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. So I'm talking about experimenting with flavors. You have to experiment with other ingredients like spices, like adding spice to your batter or your dough to give it a unique taste. To give it a unique taste, you have to add twist to whatever you are making, okay, for your products or whatever you're doing to stand out from the others. Famous Louisa is hailing you. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for supporting, okay? I really appreciate it. I also talked about being patient. Baking requires lots of time and patience. You have to be patient with your baking. You have to be patient when baking. You have to be patient when baking so that your ingredients, your dough, your batter can rest well and your ingredients can combine, can incorporate together for you to achieve a good result. You have to be patient and give yourself time. Give your batter, your dough time to rest. Okay? Thanks for being here with me, and this is Sunshine Yummy Treats. This is Sunshine Yummy Treats. If you have not connected with me, please, I am begging you, connect with me, subscribe to my channel and check out my videos, okay? Thanks for being here with me. Sorry guys, I was attending to something. So if you've been following me, can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? If you have been following me, can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? Hello, can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? Thank you, Famous. Can someone tell me one of the tips I talked about? For you to achieve a successful baked product end results, can someone tell me one of the tips I talked about? No one? Is it that you were not following me or what? Only Louisa. Is Louisa still here? Can we interact, guys? Can someone tell me one of the tips we talked about? Yes, patience. Baking requires lots of patience. Thank you, Louisa. And why do we need patience and time? Can you please tell us? Why do we need patience when baking? Can someone tell us why we need patience and time when baking? Preheat your oven. That's good. That is one of the tips. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you so much, Louisa. You've been following all what I've been saying. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So if you're here, can you tell me why we need patience while baking? Okay. I said we need patience while baking in order for our ingredients to combine. We need to give whatever we are baking time and patience. We have to be patient so that the ingredients can come together, so that they can incorporate together, so that exactly, so that you can achieve a good result, so that you don't spoil your work. Exactly, Louisa. Exactly. Exactly. Like putting, for example, now you're making meat pie. If you're making meat pie for a personal consumption, normally you have to chill your dough. If you're not making use of cold water, you have to chill your dough. Even if you're making use of cold water, you have to chill your dough. Put your dough in the fridge for some minutes so it can chill, it can be cold a bit, because it helps for your work to be easy, and also it makes your end result, it makes the meat pie at the end to have a very good texture. So you have to be patient while baking, okay? Can someone tell us another tips that I also talked about? I talked about 13 tips. Okay. I don't have iPhone for now, okay? But I'm planning on buying one. Don't worry, guys. I'm planning on buying one, okay? Hamisu. 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 Please, where are you watching from? Hamisu, where are you watching from? From Kano, okay. You're in Nigeria now. You're in Nigerian. From Kano. Thank you, Amisu, for being here with me, for spending time with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Don't worry, Amisu. Very soon I'll be having my iPhone, okay? So Amisu, if you've been following me from the beginning, can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? Can you tell me one of the tips I talked about for a successful baking? Can you tell me one of the tips I talked about for a successful baking? Hamisu, are you still here? Can you tell me one of the tips I talked about? If you're just joining me here, you're welcome to my life. This is Sunshine Yummy Tea, Sunshine Yummy Treats, pardon me. And I talked about essential tips and tricks for a successful baking. Thanks for joining me live. Thanks for joining me live. If you're just joining, please give this live a thumbs up. Double tap on your screen, okay? And if you've been following what I've said, can you tell me one of the tips for a successful baking? Okay. Thank you guys for staying with me today on this live. I really appreciate. I really, really appreciate. This is my first live showing my face properly. Proper. I appreciate you being here with me. And I hope to see you in my next live, okay? Please, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so and turn on the post notification so you'll be notified whenever I'm going live. I really appreciate you being here with me. God bless you. And please turn on that notification so you'll be notified whenever I'm coming live or whenever I upload new video. And in my life, we'll be discussing on more on different topics and different ingredients we use in baking. Okay, thank you so much for joining. So guys, we have come to the end of the live. Thank you so much for staying with me. I really appreciate the time you spent with me here. Thank you so much. And see you in my next live. Okay? Bye. Bye.